So when you're using the leading term test to determine that end behavior of a polynomial function, there's a couple things that we are going to be looking at. The first thing we're going to do is look at the degree of that leading term. There are two possibilities in our determinations. That degree, which we also call n, can be even or it could be odd. Odd being 1, 2, 3, 4. Odd being 1, 3, 5. Evens being 0, 2, 4, 6. Then the other thing that we are going to look at is that leading coefficient, the number before x. Which is the a sub n. And once again, we're going to look at two possibilities. That could be positive, or it could be negative. Now, when we determine the degree and the leading coefficient, that will give us 4 specific options as to what is happening to the end behaviors. So let's take a look though here. We're going to describe on those end behaviors what the movement is of x and y. So we're always going to start out with a statement saying as x moves some way. So x is our horizontal, and it could move to the right, and that would be towards infinity, or it could move to the left, which is towards negative infinity. The y can move up, or it could be rising. We would say y rises, which is approaching infinity. Or we could say that it falls, or it approaches negative infinity. So taking a look at just that end behavior, we don't care what's happening in the middle, but the end, if the polynomial has a leading term whose degree is both odd and the leading coefficient is positive, it's going to look like there's one end and you've got some stuff happening in the middle, and that's the other end. Which we're going to say, is that, and this is, instead of saying down, up, I think we used to say that in Algebra 2. Now we're going to say it as x moves. And in this way, when it's odd and positive, it's going to be moving as it moves left. So as this is moving left, the y is falling. And as x moves to the right, y rises. Can also be written in a little bit of different notation where we don't use quite so many words, where we say as x approaches, and when we go to the negative infinity or left, it's negative infinity. Y approaches and falls is negative infinity. Now over here, if the degree of our leading term is even, such as 2, 4, 6, and the leading coefficient is a positive number, then we're going to say as x, first we're going to show you what it looks like. They're both sides are going to be going up, kind of like a parabola. So as x moves left, y rises. And as x moves right, y rises. So it rises both directions. Little shorthand notation then, we could say as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches infinity, and as y or x approaches positive infinity, y approaches infinity. Oops, I forgot this one. X approaches positive infinity, y approaches positive infinity. When we get down to here, where the degree is odd and the leading coefficient is negative, it's going to look like this. Some stuff in the middle and the other end. So as x moves to the left, y rises. As x moves right, y falls. Or as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity, and as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. And then our last possibility is when the degree is even and the leading coefficient is negative, where both ends are going to be looking down. So we're going to state as x moves left, y falls. As x moves right, y falls. Or as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches negative infinity. And as x approaches infinity, y approaches negative infinity. Put that down so you can see that. So let's take a look at a couple of examples.